Hello students, once again welcome back, and this is motion and time for class 7th science physics topic, you can say. And in today's class, this is in continuation with the previous video. This video or this class is going to be focused totally on graphs, because in this chapter you will get various type of graphs, specifically in HOTS like high order thinking जो problems हैं आपकी. So there you will get high order thinking skills, HOTS. So we will try to understand these topics and how you can plot a graph and how you can read a graph. So if you have not observed the previous video, I mean the first video, first class of this topic, so I would like to request you kindly visit the channel that I'll show you at the end of the video, which channel you are supposed to visit, and there you can watch the video. But just for you can say a quick recap, I am going to give you a basic idea of graphs. Fine. So let's move ahead. So what exactly a graph is? So graphs are very important tool for representing various kinds of information. Some of the popular types of graphs that we use regularly to depict the relation between variables are line graph, bar graph, pie graph or pie charts. Now, why we are so much interested in graphs for this chapter, motion and time? Reason is simple, because in this chapter we are supposed to understand these two quantities. One is time, that is represented by t. Another is distance. Fine. That is normally represented by small d or sometimes x. So these are two variable quantities. Time is something which I told you in the previous video that you cannot stop the time. Once you started the experiment, the clock will keep on moving. So here one more important aspect that I would like to mention. Not all graphs are suitable to represent all types of information. It may be possible that a few quantities you cannot plot on a pie chart. Few points of information you cannot plot on a line graph. So first you have to understand which graph you should select to plot the given quantities. Okay. Now for examples, runs scored in various overs of a cricket match can be beautifully represented by a bar graph. But if you would like to plot this quantity on a pie chart, then it is going to be slightly difficult at your level. I'm not saying it is difficult, but at your class, it is going to be slightly difficult. So we will avoid that thing. Fine. Now, variation of distance covered by a car with time can be represented by a line graph. We will analyze that thing. Pie chart can be quite useful while representing the composition of air. I'll show you how exactly it is going to be useful. Now, this is the bar graph. Now, this graph up to some extent I explained in the previous video or previous class. Now, here you can do one thing. Quickly, I am giving you a revision of this particular thing. So just take a look. Say for example, there are around 20 plus students in a class, and there are 5 colors: red, blue, green, black, pink. And how many students like which color, that is very clearly mentioned in this graph. Entire explanation of this particular bar graph is already covered in the previous video. Now come on to the pie chart and line chart. Okay. So here it is, the motion of object can be represented in pictorial form by distance time graph. How exactly? Distance time graph is basically going to be a straight line graph. Distance time graph for the motion of an object moving with a constant speed is always a straight line. Okay, how? So this is the graph that represents the distance time. Okay, constant speed, distance time graph. This line, this green line is showing x-axis it is time and y-axis it is distance, and this straight line is showing that the car is moving with the uniform, you can say, speed. Now if you just take a look of this graph, very easily you can say that yes, let's say this is point O, okay, this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, D, and so on. So very easily you can conclude that the car is traveling equal distance in equal time. So this is the uniform motion for the car. So uniform motion you can represent with the help of a straight line. Then it is the pie graph. Now how exactly we can represent the composition of air by using pie graph? You just take a look. Say for example, this very light blue color is nitrogen. Okay, the air present in our environment from which we are taking our breath, it is more than 77% nitrogen. Then let's say this is oxygen. Then let's say this is pollution of A type. Fine. And this is the dust or another type of pollution. So very easily you can say maximum nitrogen is present, then less than the nitrogen oxygen is present, then pollution. So this is the use of the pie chart, where you can represent various quantities in one pie chart. Now this question we picked from your this chapter itself. It is comes under the category of high order thinking skill. Now here imagine a car while B is, say for example, a bike. Now x-axis it is time and y-axis it is distance. Say for example, this graph is given to us. So how we can analyze, how we can conclude which one is moving fast, which one is moving slow, and so on. So what we will do some bit tricky things or simple tricky things in this graph. Just take a scale, draw a line like this and parallel to x-axis and parallel to y-axis. Okay, just give a name to this line. Say for example, P is already here. So let's say it is D and E line. Now just take a look. I am explaining. Just listen. So this graph, second graph, this is given graph, first graph. This is our analytical graph. So how exactly we can acquire the information? Okay. Now vehicle or car. Fine. Car A has moved to point P and bike moves to point Q. This is bike. When the bike is at point Q, the car is at point P. Car, bike. Okay. Now what you can say, very easily you can say that OP, just take a look. Let me write it properly. It is OP is greater than OQ. Just by taking a look of this, you can easily find out. So we can say that car traveled more distance than bike. Fine. So we can say car is moving fast. Fine. So this is one graph that we analyzed. Fine. What we will do, we will ending this video at this point, because I don't want to put so many things for you in one video. We will try to understand these concepts slowly but with surety. Okay. So what we will do, we will come again in the next video. Till then, keep watching this YouTube channel.